you have right now is before you deals with both those subjects, so I'm certainly empathetic to that. I've spent a lot of time listening to this. I've been to many of the meetings. The discussion has gotten very emotional at times with two kids in school right now and another one soon to be in school. I can understand the emotional attachment that you get to a school. It really is more than just a building. I certainly empathize with that. But I do get a little bit frustrated when I hear certain terms thrown out, student achievement, diversity, walkability, a lot of these things that different people prioritize differently, but it's not to say that, certainly in my opinion, or in my case, that I don't somehow value those things or want those things in my school, even though I might not be at one of the schools that's threatened to be closed. Fair is ultimately in the eye of the beholder, but I would like to speak to the process and the methodology that this board has used and really express my support for that. While I certainly had a vested interest in seeing my local school, the school closest to my home, remain open, really what I was looking for from this board was a process that I could ultimately support, something that as a taxpayer, as a parent of students, that I could ultimately defend and say, you know what, maybe I didn't get everything that I wanted, but I can at least support or defend to other people the proposal that you put forward. And so to that end, I would commend the board, Superintendent Chapin. You've sold me on the vision. I think that when you look at some of the neighboring school districts that have failed to address some of these issues out in the future, allocating resources properly, the decisions only get tougher in a few years. You can't put these things off indefinitely. So as tough as this decision is, I support the recommendation that was made at the previous meeting, and also I intend to encourage my family, friends, and neighbors to support that proposal as well. Thank you.
Mr. Lloyd, Allison Alfredson, and Jennifer Allsweet. Mr. Lloyd?
I'm Alec Lloyd, 1416 Basswood Court. I keep hearing this term window of opportunity, and it disturbs me. It's a window of opportunity to maximize our debt. I don't consider that to be a really good opportunity I think we should take. Let's consider the alternatives. If our enrollment goes up, and I think it is, we're hearing all sorts of evidence, people are moving into the city, properties are selling, then we will have bought $62 million of overcrowded buildings. Because we will max out that bond capacity, which will then fall off next year, it will be years before we can make any kind of capital improvements. We will be completely stuck. Let us say that enrollment continues to decline. Then we may have to close a building well before it's paid off. We already have a couple of those. Basically, the one thing that is certain is uncertainty. We do not know what next year is going to look like. I challenge you in your discussions tonight, if this is driven by cost savings, let's be honest about what the costs really are. We're looking at wrenching change, a massive expense, a very divisive and painful process, and all the savings, the optimistic best-case scenario savings, could be wiped out next year with a 1% school aid cut. So you really won't gain any breathing space. And these are all speculative savings. I also would like you to explain how you're saving money by closing Red Cedar when you're not actually closing it. It's still going to be there. It's still going to have to be heated. It's going to have janitors. It's going to have upkeep. You may move your office into it. So you're not actually eliminating the facility. Now, there is some savings to be had. You're going to get rid of the Timberlane facility, but you don't need to close a school to do that. There's plenty of excess space around here, including Hannah, which I guess we still haven't paid for either. So we could move there and save money. We could eliminate busing. Go to a K-6 configuration. Boom, instant savings. No pain, no loss, no wrenching choices by families, and no $62 million in debt that once we dig in that hole, it will take us years to get back out. We don't know what the future holds. This window of opportunity, to me, looks like a window that we should let close. There is too much on the line for us to jump in with a 36-year solution based on the incomplete data we have right now. I urge you to show extreme caution because the world economy right now is in upheaval. If we jump into this thing, if we drive on and close those schools, we can't get them back. If we take on that debt, we can't just say, whoops, sorry, we miscalculated. Can we work a deal? This is the most important decision this district will face for many years to come. And I urge you to not only consider these, but talk about it in front of us. Open your mind so that we understand why you've decided, against the evidence that some of us see, that a school must close. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lloyd. Thank you. Allison Alfredson. Hi,
Hi.
just one moment,
Sure.
please. Thank you so much. Jennifer Allsweed and Michael Wiesbrod. Yes, Ms. Alfredson.
Hi, I'm Allison Alfredson, and I'm at 1610 Davis Avenue in Lansing, and I'm a school choice parent. We applied, and luck of the draw, we got in. I have a daughter at Red Cedar. She's in 2nd grade, and we love Red Cedar, and it was our first choice. We thought about Marble because my mother lives near there. I'm an East Lansing graduate, class of 1991, and we were just very, very excited to be able to get her into Red Cedar, and honestly, as somebody who lives in Lansing, Red Cedar is the closest school to us. We can zip off the expressway and there we are. And it's actually given us an opportunity to spend more time on that side of East Lansing and spend our dollars over there in the Trowbridge area. So I just wanted to mention that. My daughter, as far as I know, she is at least in last year's class, she was in Miss Medler's class, she was the only child who had 2 Caucasian parents. And we loved that fact. That was wonderful. And I wrote a letter to all of you before because I haven't had the opportunity to be here at the previous meetings. But I don't think any other elementary school would embrace the cultures like Red Cedar does, because if any of you have actually attended the Festival of Cultures at the end of the year, you will tear up. I mean, I was crying. It was like the opening ceremony of the Olympics, and kids with banners over their head from all the countries they are from. I really don't think that happens at any other elementary school, and I really don't believe that if you did converge those children into other elementary schools, that would still take place. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Jennifer Allsweed, Michael Wiesbrod, and Robert Fish. Okay.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Allsweet. I live at 640 Oakwood Drive, and I have had 3 kids grow up in the East Lansing School District. 2 of them are still in high school, and 1 has moved on. She was very well prepared, thank you. And I'm here in support of you guys. I would like to thank each and every one of you individually for all of the work that you've put in to make this a great school district for all of our kids. And I do support your plans for the future. I think that it's a great thing to be looking ahead because we do need to plan. And honestly, in this district, historically, sometimes we haven't looked far enough into the future. So I think this is definitely a good move on our part. In addition, I'd like to say that I think that East Lansing supports diversity in all of our schools. You know, we were not sure how it was going to be when Glencairn switched and our kids went to Marble and Red Cedar kids came to Glencairn, and honestly, it was one of the best things that has ever happened to us. I think that that the reality is when I walked into into the high school here at East Lansing to deliver pizza actually to my daughter who was having a birthday, and I looked around the table there and it looked like a mini UN. There were so many faces there, and the really great part about it was that nobody thought that was unusual. I don't see why that can't happen at our elementary schools as well as our middle school and our high school. So, in summary, I guess I want you to know that I have your respect, and or that I respect you guys, and I want you to know that you have my support. I think you make very good decisions for our children. And I have confidence that if we work together here in East Lansing, our district can accomplish really great things. And that's the